Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the gadget, pretty much the apps and the things that I pretty much considered must-haves for me while I was in nursing school. And that is pretty much my iPad Pro, my Apple Pencil. I would use Notability to pretty much note take and record my lectures, and if you've seen my other videos, that's pretty much what helped me study and pass nursing school, because recording my lectures allowed me to kind of pretty much listen to those lectures over and over until if I had any questions or I didn't get something, I would just listen to it and pretty much be able to kind of like get exact word for word from my professor through those lectures, instead of trying to be like, if probably I missed something that I didn't write, I would be able to catch it as I was taking notes after listening to my lecture for the second or third time. Honestly guys, this is just a small personal review. I am not getting paid for this. It's just pretty much something that I feel like really add a lot of value to my nursing journey, and I really hope that it adds value to yours as well. And if you have not subscribed to my channel just yet, please do so. And if you like this video, please like it, and if you feel like it's going to help you, please share. So let's get started. Okay friends, so I'm just going to be showing you why I love my iPad Pro. And I'm going to be showing you, these are a couple of apps that I used when I was in nursing school, and I'm currently using right now to study for the NCLEX test, which is UWorld. And I just wanted to show you one of my favorite apps that I used half of my semester, and I wish I would have known about it the first 2 semesters, because it would have just made my life so much easier, and that's a Notability. And as you can see, I have my 2 last semesters in 200 and in 206, and pretty much I was able to, you can create like little subdivisions, I would say, where you can, for N200 I divided it per different professors. I had a couple professors, and I would just separate my lectures according to the professors and the name of the lectures. Some of them focused on cardiac, some of them focused on psych, like and I just was able to save my PowerPoints. And what I love about it is that once I saved my PowerPoints, I was able to pretty much write notes on them. So you can see, I would download the PowerPoint and I would pretty much upload it into Notability, and I would be able to write extra notes. And this honestly, it's time saving when you're in lecture, because if you're not just writing you're trying to write everything that you see in the PowerPoint. You already have their notes, whatever they're giving you, but you're also able to add like extra notes, because in my nursing program, teachers would kind of say other things that were not necessarily in the PowerPoint. And it was just key words, key things that they would say that would just make it easier for us to know. Sometimes they would give them link, like this professor would give them link, and then we had like a half completed PowerPoint, and then once she was able to in lecture let us know what the answers were, if we didn't know them, if we couldn't find them, I would just kind of like type it out into my PowerPoint, which is pretty amazing. Or I would highlight specific things that I had to kind of like, she would mention or double mention, you know, if she would repeat it over and over, you know, most likely it was going to be something important that was going to be in the test. So I kind of started realizing that going to lecture was very, very important for me to be able to catch that. Another thing about it, Notability, that was extremely important for me, and it was like my favorite thing, is that you can actually record your lecture. And as you can see in here, it shows my recording. And what I loved about it is once the class started, you could pretty much just press a little microphone right up here, and it would start recording your whole lecture. For example, this lecture was 1 hour and 41 minutes and 21 seconds. So once it started, I started recording began the lecture, I pretty much just started recording. And what I love about it is that it kind of highlights where you are when you start your lecture. So for example, you see some are a little darker, and then those are kind of like in the background, like they're light. And it's because once you press play and you start listening to the lecture, once the recording starts hitting every slide that has been covered, like it has already covered it, it starts putting it like this color. And once it starts doing that, it kind of helps you, it guides you to know where your lecture is going and what's being said and what has not been said. And honestly, it was super helpful for me, because I had kids, so I pretty much would listen to my recordings on my way to school, on my way back from school. As I was cooking, I would pretty much just put my iPad like this, put my headphones on, and I would be listening to the lecture as I was cooking, you know, kind of trying to go over the lecture one more time and find keywords and key things that I felt that they were trying to kind of like repeat over and over, because I felt like that was one of the things and patterns that I noticed is when the teacher is kind of like really going in depth in the lecture about a specific subject or topic, is because most likely that topic is going to be in the test. So honestly, this was my favorite feature of it all, because before this I was using PowerPoint. I was pretty much uploading my PowerPoints, my lectures into PowerPoint, and I was just using my Apple Pencil to take notes, which you can also do that in Notability, but if you don't have one, you can type it. It's up to you if you want to get it. But for example, let me find another PowerPoint where I would pretty much write notes with my Apple Pencil. No, not this one. Let me see. For example, let me show you. I honestly would take notes and would write. And as you can see, this one, I would be using my Apple Pencil. This one right here. And I would be able to write notes, write extra notes, or highlight things. Or pretty much, you know, this professor, she would always kind of like would go over specific things. And she would always add. She would say more things than what we had in the PowerPoint that were important. So it's always important to kind of study your professors, see how they teach, because not everybody, that's one of the things in nursing school, you get different professors and not everybody has the same teaching technique. So you have to figure them out. But once you do, it's always good to kind of like try to do as much as you can their way. And for example, with this professor, I knew that I could definitely not miss one of her lectures, and thank God that I was always recording. And I had a wonderful nursing friend who would also use Notability, who actually introduced me to Notability. And she, when I gave birth and I really was not able to make it to one lecture, she would stop by the house after lecture or the next day, and she would pretty much just transfer through the Notability notes with the recording, and that way I was pretty much able to listen to the recording and take my own notes as if I had been in class. It's as you can see, you can just add notes, and again, this lecture was like a 2-hour recording, and I just love the fact that you can just type, you can use your Apple Pencil, you can pretty much just do whichever works best for you, and it's absolutely helpful. I wish I would have known about this app way before, but honestly, it was one of the things that really helped me my last 2 semesters, and it was absolutely amazing. Notability, I mean, it's eco-friendly. If you really don't want to be carrying notes and a huge binder of printed PowerPoints, because we're just pretty much wasting paper with that. After nursing school, you're probably not going to even take a look on it ever again, and maybe sometimes some students just throw them away. But with Notability, as you can see, it's just super easy. I have 2 whole semesters worth of nursing PowerPoints and notes that I had saved here, and with recordings and the notes, and it's just honestly less heavy, it's more eco-friendly. You are spending probably around the same, because at the end of the day, printing out a lot of PowerPoints that are probably 90 to 100 slides, because yes, some PowerPoints in nursing school will be probably even a little longer. I remember having one that was 120 slides. So even if you put 6 slides per paper, it's still a lot of paper that you're wasting, and it's still a lot of things that you have to be carrying. And honestly, with my iPad, I was just able to all I needed was my Apple Pencil. I would just pretty much fold my iPad, and I was ready to go. That's all I needed. You know, the recording was here. I just made sure that my iPad was completely charged, that my Apple Pencil was charged, and these 2 were just my best friends during nursing school. And with the Apple Pencil, honestly, it's super cool, because let me show you really quick. For example, notes, you know, you can choose different, there's the highlighter, the pencil. Let me connect it a little bit. all you really have to do to connect it sometimes is you just clip it to the little place where you charge your iPad, and it's pretty much just lets it like sync through Bluetooth, and you just pretty much just, you know, charges just the same way as well. And honestly, all you really have to do is you can create either text. This is for typing, but if you want to use a pencil, there's like there's different colors that you can choose. So not only are you saving on paper, but you're obviously saving on pens as well. And don't get me wrong, I still have my favorite pens and highlighters for other things, but this is absolutely amazing. It also has a highlighter, different colors. You can create your own color if you want to. You can choose your preference. It has the eraser. It tells you, it's honestly, like, it doesn't get anything easier than this. Now you can, what I love about Notability is that it just keeps it organized. It keeps it less heavy, because in the first semester, believe me, I was carrying books and a binder full of PowerPoints printed out, and it was real. By the time I had to study, it was really hard. Like, if I lost track of one of them, it's like, you know, I had to go print it again, and I lost my notes. But with Notability, all I really had to do was just open it to the specific teacher, the lectures I was gonna have. I would just review every single one of them, as this with the recording. Some of them were shorter, like this one's only 25 minutes, and pretty much that was it. So yes, honestly, Notability is a must. I believe I only paid like $8.99 or $9 or something like that, which is absolutely inexpensive, because if you are having 4 semesters of nursing school, it really comes out to probably like not even a little less than $3 a semester, which is, I honestly think it's fairly cheap. Another thing that I do love about my iPad Pro is that sometimes when you have to write papers or things like that, and you're trying to get notes, or you're just trying to write, like, from our last 2 semesters, we had to take this one credit class, and where we had to be posting, you know, participating in discussions and writing papers. So sometimes what I would do is, what I loved about it is that I could open Notability. I did it wrong. There we go. I could open Notability, and if I needed to type or write something, I could just open. I would just pull and drag, and I would be able to see 2 screens at the same time. So I could be seeing my PowerPoint, answering some of the papers that they would leave us, or if I needed some information from the PowerPoints to create my care plans, or to pretty much just take a second look at anything, I was able to do that. I was able to have my Word document and my PowerPoint and Notability, and being able to exchange notes, and being able to rehear, and being able to answer the questions, and be able to type them, because I could be typing and pretty much just getting my homework done without having to have like a book or my phone in my hand. I think this was just amazing when I discovered it. You can have for example, Kindle. You know, another great thing about it is that nowadays it's actually cheaper to kind of like rent your books, ebooks, and have them on your iPad Pro, and just being able to read your books through here, taking notes, highlighting, because you can actually highlight with the Apple Pencil as well, and just creating like those, you know, those perfect notes, and having that right there and then, without again having to be carrying a lot of books and spending more money, because honestly these books are crazy expensive, and I just didn't want to be spending that much money. I feel like for nursing school, yes, there were a couple that I did have to get, but for example, this History 102, this is just a class that a week summer class that I'm taking just for my BSN, and just to kind of like make it easier and not be taking so many classes at the same time. And it's just, I don't believe I'm gonna need this book ever, and I just decided to rent the ebook and have it in my iPad. And then obviously discussions, I have to quote one citation from the book, so I pretty much can do both. And this is just so time saving. It's not heavy like carrying other books, so it's just honestly saving me money. It is expensive. It could be expensive to some, but at the same time, if you really write down how much you're going to spend on carrying the books, plus buying the books, plus printing your paper, you know, ink and all that stuff, it's just, I feel like it comes out to the same. And personally, I believe that This is just makes it more easy for you. Nursing school is already hard as it is, so why not make it, find ways to make it more simpler for you. So yeah, this is pretty much it. Like, I just wanted to show you how this works, how I was able to pretty much switch if I needed you. I could compare notes. You know, you can just be switching them, which is pretty amazing. So I want to start with showing you my iPad Pro with my smart keyboard. So you can see it pretty much attaches. What I love about it is that it's just something that just kind of like a magnet that just has little 3 dots, and then this has three little dots in the bottom, and that's pretty much what makes it connect. This is something that if you're charging your iPad and this is with the iPad, it charges together, and it's not heavy at all. Honestly, it's super thin. And what I love about it is that I pretty much have been able to carry my PowerPoints, my notes, my ebooks, and anything that I've needed for school in this iPad. My husband got it for me 3 years ago, so this review is from 3 years. It really helped me with nursing school. Instead of carrying so many books, I literally would just be carrying these 3 things and maybe a book or so. You know, it's some books that I really needed, but for lectures, this is all I needed. You know, and obviously mine. I would definitely recommend you getting yourself a Blackweb, just to kind of have like an extra battery to charge your iPad, because lectures are definitely long. Mine was were like 4 to 5 hours, and sometimes if you don't really fully charge it, you know, it could be dying, and you really definitely don't want that because you need to record lectures, and I definitely needed to. It did happen to me a couple times, so that's why I ended up getting the Blackweb. But this is honestly, I consider it a must. It is expensive, I have to say that. I mean, it's Apple, and it's not cheap at all. But if you really do your math, after 3 years, 2 years, and sometimes 4 years in school, if you really divide it by 4 years and you consider there's so much money that we spend on ink, on paper, on books, you know, ebooks are cheaper because it's pretty much like a rented book. If you feel like you really need the book, go ahead, buy it. I've done it myself, especially the ones for NCLEX style practice questions. But if you feel like you don't need it, and then you can just do an ebook and you can just save money. And pretty much, honestly guys, I am absolutely in love with these 2 gadgets. I use them for note-taking, lecture recording. I believe I mentioned that already. I'm drawing a blank here. I have a list of you guys. I have a list of the things that I want to mention, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. And I just did want to, I'm trying to think really hard about a con regarding my iPad, the iPad specifically, but I really can't think of anything. It's just honestly my favorite. But I do have to point out that with the Apple Smart Keyboard, it's been 3 years, and as you can see it has a natural wear and tear. The pretty much the little letters, the key things, they are still intact. They don't fall off, which is something that is good. That's a pro. And as you can see, it's a little wear and tear as well right here. It's starting to fall off. And one thing that I have been struggling with recently is that my keyboard is just not connecting to the iPad Pro. Like it used to be connected. Don't get me wrong, some days it works, some days it doesn't. So unfortunately, it doesn't work most of the days I need it to for my lecture, for my online class. But that's pretty much a con, and I've been trying to find different ways to make it work. I know I've seen videos where they say that you have to pretty much kind of like clean these little dots right here, because sometimes they have like, they start getting like a little dirty. So I've cleaned it. I made sure I cleaned it. Some people have recommended that to check these three little dots right here, that some of them, sometimes the middle one goes a little further inside, and honestly I checked mine and mine seems like it's okay. And other people just say to pretty much to keep pressing the tab, the control button and tab. I've done that, has not worked. And what other thing? Oh yeah, the other one that they say is just to keep plugging it and unplugging it and plugging it until it works. But honestly, I think I did it like 10 times and I was like, okay, this is definitely not working. Some people say to kind of like wiggle it left to right. Believe me guys, I've done everything in my power to kind of like try to make my smart keyboard connect to my iPad. I've charged it 100%. So I started looking into it and I was like, what's going on? I know it's a little old. It's been, I believe, 3 years, a little over 3 years. And at this point, it was like, there was nothing else I could do. Nobody could really, I Googled it on Apple. I tried finding the answer, but it was not there. So that's definitely a con. It is $100 and something. It is not cheap, unfortunately. I mean, it is Apple brand. So what I ended up doing is I realized that as days kept on going, it kept working on me less and less. Some days it did connect and it would work, and there's days where it just would not. So instead of buying myself a new iPad and a new keyboard, I know there's a 2020 new one that's pretty amazing and pretty cool, but I just didn't think it was worth me spending a lot of thousands of dollars when I'm only going to be in school for maybe, if anything, a year and a half or so or something like that. So I did end up getting myself a new one for $130. I did get a coupon from Target, 20% off, plus I have the card for 5% off extra. And I figured that, many people are like, well, maybe you're probably wondering, well, why would she get another one if she's noticing that it's not working after 3 years, and there's clearly a couple reviews out there that it's not. It's because I kind of wait, like, do I really want to spend thousands of dollars for a new iPad and a different keyboard, or should I just spend $130 more just for that could last me another 3 years, which is pretty much what I need, that I have pretty much left for school. It's like, if everything goes well, it's a year, but let's crossing fingers right here. But honestly, yeah guys, that's my only con that I could tell you. I have to be honest, because it's something that I've noticed. It's been a little over 3 years, and it's recently, thank God it recently, because if it would have happened during nursing school, it would have been crazy. I would have not been able to do that. But yes, that's the only con that I have to share with you guys. I did have to buy a new one. Excited to be able to start using it. I actually got it today, which I should open it right now and just show you guys. It's just gonna open it right now. See how it comes pretty much. Comes with a little, box, and as you can see, this is the famous keyboard. It comes wrapped in the little. How do I open this? There we go. So I'm just gonna do this pretty much. There we go. As you can see, looks nice and pretty, new. Smells new. As you can see this. And this is the new keyboard. So let's try it out. Can't wait for this, because believe me guys, this has been so stressful. It's been driving me nuts, because I've been trying to get my homework done, trying to, do my discussions. So pretty much I already clipped it. It's not really hard. It's like I said, it's one of the things that I like about it is it's pretty simple. You just put the little two magnets together, and by itself it kind of like pulls together. This one's actually, I believe it's black. The other one was gray. And what I love about it is that it's this little kind of like, just put it together, and as you can see, look, it stands like a little computer, like a little laptop, and it has different ways of placing it. For example, as you can see, this one's like a little bit tilted, and if I want to do a different one, I can just pretty much put you can fold the little keyboard. Here, let me move this a little bit down so you guys can see. Another amazing thing that you can do is pretty much place a keyboard to the back like that, and as you can see, by folding it towards the back, you can just create another little triangle, and it lets it stand like that, just like that. You see? There we go. And it allows your iPad to pretty much just be a little bit more, just the iPad. Maybe you want to watch Netflix, I don't know, whichever. And again, you just pretty much flip it to start typing, which immediately starts at, oh, perfect. Look, as you can see, it's actually already working. So pretty much if I just put my passcode, there we go. So honestly, guys, I am absolutely excited because I really needed this to finish my homework. And unfortunately, yes, like I said, the cons of it is that it's just after 3.5 years, it's not working anymore. And I had to buy a new one, and I had to be honest about that. It's up to you guys. I'm sure there's a lot of different keyboards out there. I definitely love this one. It's not heavy at all. I love how it goes with my iPad Pro, so that's one of the reasons why I got it, because I really loved it. I wish Apple would really look into it and maybe try to upgrade and make it a little bit better. But yeah, guys, this is pretty much my honest review. This is pretty much what I used for nursing school. It really helped me. So this is a review after 3 years with the old one and the new one. And it's just, honestly, I hope this helps you guys, helps you make a decision. I honestly think that it's worth it. Well, I mean, most importantly, the iPad. The keyboard, maybe you guys can find something better. Maybe hopefully in a couple of years, Apple will try something better, do something to make them more efficient and more, they can last a little bit longer than 3 years, because they are quite expensive. So I'm kind of shocked from Apple, something from Apple that I'm not pleased about. But honestly, guys, this is pretty much it. Notability, it's a must, you guys. It's not, that one's not expensive. You definitely are gonna be, it's gonna make it so much easier in school, any class. It doesn't need to be nursing school, any college student. That honestly, Notability is one of the apps that I would absolutely recommend. This is pretty much it, my friends. I hope this video really helps you. If you really liked it and you found it helpful, please give me a like. If you have not subscribed to my channel just yet, please do so. And if you have any questions, comments, or anything below that I missed, or that you would like answered, please comment down below. I will answer as soon as possible. And I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.